Greetings, everybody. Rob Thompson and Joy Morales, and we're back with the next issue or episode of Shift Happens, the AI podcast, where we are unpacking complex systems and talking to you about their real-world applications and what does that mean and what's it mean from a business aspect. But before we get to that, hey Joy, how are you?
I'm great. I'm
Good,
great. Just got back from a few days off, so I am feeling good.
good, good. I hope you had a great time.
We did.
Good. That's awesome. We went up to for the first time up to Ouray this last weekend, and that was a lot of fun. The girls had a good time. They skied all day, all one of the days. That was I was really proud of them. They did a great job. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah,
Well, I'm
yeah.
a big March Madness girl, so I love going to Vegas for March
Oh,
Madness
nice.
because it's so fun to see all the games being played and all the. I mean, it's definitely a guys' weekend, but I don't care. I crash it, and I just had a great time. It was really fun, and we
Yeah,
went to
that's
the
awesome.
Sphere,
Okay. How
which
is
was
that?
so cool. I mean, it
Is it
was
so cool?
so cool. So definitely that was a highlight. And we stopped at Moab, and that was great. So it was just a great few days to get away.
That's awesome. Did you know that I am from Las Vegas? I was born there in North
Where
Las
did you
Vegas
go?
near Nellis. Yep, yep. I grew up there. Well, long story short, well, we moved away after I was born, but then I moved back when I was 10 and lived there from the time I was 10 till I was about 17 and
Wow,
then
I didn't
joined.
know
Yep,
that.
yep, yeah. So went to middle school and high school there. Good stuff.
Wow.
Born there. Yeah. And then I was back for the Thunderbirds. I got stationed there in 2006 with the Thunderbirds and to 2010 when I PCSed to Colorado here. And this is where we've been since. Yep.
Wow, I never knew that. Yeah, I don't know if I would want to live there, but I definitely like visiting for 3 days.
That's
Then it's time to come home.
that's a common refrain. It's a dry heat though. It's good. It's good stuff. But but on to AI. Okay, so what are we talking about today?
Well, I thought today, since I had to get my taxes done before I left, and we're getting ready to start the second quarter, I thought it might be advantageous to talk about how we can use the data from the first quarter to roll into our second quarter using AI.
Okay, what does that mean for you? How do you use that?
So, how I'm going to implement it is now I know my numbers from the first quarter and things. One way is things that I spend money on that I don't utilize. And we talk about that from a woman's perspective in terms of shoes and clothes and purses. But from a business perspective, how many tools do we buy and we never use? So, one of the ways I'm using AI is um, as a business coach in terms of what do I need to run my business and be profitable. So I would take my data from the first quarter and look at my sales, look at the price point for my sales, and if I want to increase it, what are the things I need to do? And and AI is right there to help.
Absolutely. To that end too, we comment on this a lot, but I think it is there to help. It is. I just was having a conversation this morning talking about how to use it to help, and I think we've mentioned this before, but I have a long running thread where everything that is me goes into this thread, and it is a business coach, it's a mentor, it's a muse. And it is, I've gotten it so refined over the last year that I can ask it to, hey, respond as me to this question, and I test it frequently, and you wouldn't know. I honestly believe you would not know if it was me responding or this AI. That's how much I've talked to it, and how and we have unpacked business ideas and threads, and it is incredible. So yeah, it is there to help, and it is there to synthesize and assist uh,
Well, and one of the things is, let's do both case scenarios. So let's say you didn't meet your sales goals for the first quarter. So you can put in that data of what your sales were for the first quarter and say, by the end of the year, this is what I want my sales to be. This amount of money or or the number of widgets you want to sell, or however you want to put the data in. And then put the prompt in: the first quarter, I didn't meet my goals. What do I have to do second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter to meet my end of the year goals? And then that's the first prompt. And then the second prompt is, this is what I'm currently doing. What are your suggestions for me to meet my goals? Which, it's like a third party looking at your business unemotionally, no dog in the fight, to say, this is what you need to do. And it's free, relatively.
Relatively, yeah. I was running my expenses yesterday, actually looking and doing exactly the same thing, going into, with tax season upon us, and looking at it and saying, okay, what am I doing? And yeah, it for the expense that I'm paying for the AI tools, it has been a phenomenal return on it. Chat GPT and Claude, I have a subscription to both. It's $40 a month, but sorry, there's a gnat flatter. There's just been a phenomenal return on that. Is just incredible. Well worth the cost. Well worth the cost of the custom instructions too. Yeah, I highly recommend it.
I know, and I just read an article this morning that Claude outranked Chat GPT for the first time. So, I mean, I have a subscription to both of them too, and I lean more into Chat GPT. But now, reading that, I'm like, I'm going to start using Claude more. Both at the same time, to see what the results are. And I think from a business standpoint, what are some tasks? What are some repetitive tasks that you have in your business that can be done by AI? I mean, that's a huge savings in terms of business operations.
It is. Not just the repetitive tasks that you can do there. I think that the synthesis and the business coaching aspect is, I can tell you directly, and our folks who are listening, that it has powered the growth of my business in tens of thousands of dollars worth of revenue I can tie to the ideas and the synthesis that it has helped me achieve of those ideas. It's crazy powerful.
Totally. One of the things I really use AI for is the areas that I'm weakest in, because that's where I can have the most growth and the most ROI. So before I left on vacation, one of the areas I really want to improve on this year is my tracking of expenses, my numbers. And part of it is because I had to get my taxes done before I left. So I really saw how much time I had to spend on that. And I wasn't happy because I knew I could do it more efficiently. And I hadn't incorporated AI in that aspect like I have other aspects of my business. So I printed out a bunch of articles before I left from the accounting aspect of AI and how to incorporate it. And I came back with 3 or 4 things that I'm going to try, because I'm not going to do another year like I just did for my taxes. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous, because you don't have to, and I'm so mad at myself to say, God, I spent a week getting my taxes in order because I was too lazy, busy, whatever, however you want to rationalize it, to implement AI strategies in my accounting that could have saved me so many hours. I mean, I see it in so many different areas of my business, and I haven't done it in the financial aspect. And that is my goal. That's my goal for my second second quarter.
Agreed. It's same here. From the fact it's been an awakening for me the last couple of weeks too, is just looking at this and saying, okay, I've applied it from a systems perspective in all things, just haven't looked at it from that financial lens exactly to say, here's my cost. Accounting perspective is just a wicked cool tool, wicked cool, and so powerful. My head's in the clouds a little bit today, just with the if I could emphasize anything, it is if you're a business owner and you are not using this to help calibrate your business in all aspects, from marketing to business coaching to financial literacy to even just having it. Here's this: if you're marketing, if you're putting any kind of, if you're doing your own content out there and you are not using it to systematically evaluate and look at that content, you're missing a huge potential. Uh, if you think you don't.
Yeah.
It is just this morning I was talking to the iRob thread, and somebody had told me about a new framework called the IRAC framework, and how to structure thought and responses. And so now I'm working on incorporating that into that, which will, where I'm going with this is we just don't know what we don't know. And ChatGPT, Claude, they can help you refine what you know, and then ask there's new frameworks, that new models of thought that significantly have changed the way I engage. This podcast is a function of that synthesis of information. Very cool stuff.
Well, and I think we'll do, I'm going to try out these accounting programs over the next couple weeks, and then we'll do a podcast on it and show how to use it, because, you know, and I think for this year, I mean, they're just improving. It's everything. They're just improving everything as time goes on. And I just think it's going to be so proficient in the aspect of running your business. Like it's an assistant to run your business in the financial aspect. And they've been a little bit, I don't want to say a little bit slower. I mean, I've looked at products before, but nothing that I've really jumped at. And now there's some products out there that I'm really going to jump at. And it's not that they're not in the software, they're in the software, but I've used tracking software, tracking expenses software before, and I'm good for a while, and then I'm drop off. And, if you're not going to implement it consistently, then it's not worth it. And I think now software is coming out where it can just be a natural flow of your business. And I'm excited about that, because how much of a time saving is that for you? I mean, you get 30 minutes here, you get 20 minutes here, you get 15 minutes here by incorporating AI, but that adds up to real time at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year. I mean, now I think we're seeing the time benefits because of how we've incorporated AI, but I'm excited about incorporating it in other things, not just for the ease of use, not because it saves me time on my taxes, not just because it's better, faster, but because of the time I get back, that I don't have to be tied to my computer all the time.
Agreed. Agreed. Time savings there. It's also it's Maslow's hierarchy. If we should come up with a Maslow's hierarchy of business needs, that's what we should do. But it allows you to ascend. This tool allows you to ascend that hierarchy. The top level of Maslow is self-actualization, if I'm not mistaken. And what that means is from the human needs perspective. There's another quote I think about that. Basically your base level needs, you need to have shelter and food before you can think big thoughts, right? And scale out. And same thing, if you're an entrepreneur wearing a number of hats in your business, you just simply don't have the time to really sit and strategize and think about. You just don't have the time. But ChatGPT allows you, and these tools allow you to abstract away a lot of that work, and free up the time to do a podcast like this. It's incredible technology.
Well, and you think too, like, I was doing an interview with someone, and they were interviewing me, and she was asking me pointed questions about my financial picture, my financial house. Some things I was good at and some things I wasn't. And I said to her, there's an easy fix to the things that I'm not good at. I just haven't implemented them yet. And it might take me a couple of hours to implement them, get them right. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to find out. But it sets up my business to perform at a level that I want it to perform, instead of just saying, I don't have time, I have too much on my plate, all the things that every business owner says. You want to set up your business to run tight, to run efficient. And that's really what AI can do for you, is to tighten up those areas and make it run efficient. So the 70-hour work weeks aren't the norm, and I think now we're seeing that, like, we're a year in, all these things are, I don't want to say things are settling down, because I don't. There's new innovations every single week that blow my mind. But I think our comfort level of starting to integrate things into our business is easier, because we've done it. We've done it with this, we've done it with this, we've done it with this. So tackling a new aspect of the business, incorporating AI, is easier and more comfortable because we've done it on different aspects.
Good point. That's interesting. That's a good point. Like, I was just talking to somebody earlier today about, who hadn't yet used Chat GPT, and they had a skepticism about how it could even help them. And I was saying, you just log in and start asking it questions, and the value will just leap out at you, right? If you just start asking it questions. And yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Is, you're right. It's and being that we're already here and using it, that's an interesting perspective on how much further we are, and how our that goes to the self-actualization, the hierarchy. By using it, where we're climbing that ladder. That's a really good thought process. Is we're when those next tools rolls out, and go to use them, we're going to adopt them, because we're already on the ladder that much further. So if you aren't using these tools, please log in today, to set aside a half an hour today to talk to ChatGPT or Claude. Log into them and just literally ask the first question. Robin Joy said, we should use you for our business as a business coach. What does that mean? Literally just ask them that. What does that mean? And ChatGPT will tell you, well, here's how I can help. And you can even, we have that 10th man GPT too, we created, where I will put the link in the comments here, where you log in and just log into that GPT and ask it questions about your business, and just watch what happens. You cannot think of all the things individually. This system can. And so it will force you to think about all those things if you use it in that manner.
Well, and I also think, I was talking to Tim this morning, and we were talking about the progression of learning Chat GPT, engaging with it, and now we're at a point to monetize it. But I think that for every business owner, you start engaging with it, and as you become more comfortable with the application of it, the natural progression is you'll monetize your business in different ways, because you have this business coach, this assistant, this, hands-on bookkeeper, however you want to integrate it. The natural thought process, at least for me, has been, okay, how can I monetize this? How can this help me make more money in my business? What's the applications that can help me grow my business? It's just a natural thought process as you begin to integrate it into your workflow. And that was kind of unexpected.
Well, it's a second and third order effect. It goes to the idea of the adjacent possible too. I like to say that AI and ChatGPT have significantly expanded the adjacent possible, and what that means is we before ChatGPT, these things literally weren't possible, or weren't possible in the timeline, short timeline. Inside a couple of weeks of talking to ChatGPT, I learned more with that process about mental models and frameworks and what is adjacently possible than I could have spent the next year. And I probably wouldn't get to that level of synthesis due to life and time, right? So the adjacent possible deals with what is possible within our constraints of time, within our constraints of finances, right? Is actually a biological framework, but it worked for this model too. what is possible within our existing constraints. It'd be nice. I made this joke yesterday to somebody or comment. Teleportation would be amazing. It is. We don't have the technology for it, right? So it's almost pointless from a business perspective. From your and my perspective, it is, I would say, largely pointless to wish we had teleportation capability. We don't. The most we have Tesla. You can go really fast, right? uh, so teleportation is not adjacently possible for you and I, right, in our businesses. And kind of a silly example, but what is it? It has accelerated the adjacent possible for me, and what that means is it has allowed me to scale out in a way that I could not have done. All of us could not have
Yeah,
done literally before it. So it has expanded what we are capable of next, and
totally.
that's for business. AI, Chat GPT expands what's capable for your business. That's what I would say.
And that's a great lead in to our workshop that we're offering
Right. Well,
called,
I'll oop that one for you.
thank you, called AI in Reach. And that's going to be April 30th. If you go to youraiwizards.com, there's on the homepage, there's upcoming events. Just click that link and you can fill out. And the reason why we want people to come to the workshop is we're really focusing on the small business owner and how to incorporate AI into your small business workflow. And there's a few different areas that we're going to cover. So, right off the bat, we're going to cover custom instructions. And why that is important is because that makes it sound like you. We hear the criticism all the time. Oh, it's a robot, blah, blah, blah. No, you can make it sound like you. And we're going to cover that first. Then Rob's going to talk about customer service. So if your phone rings after 5 o'clock, or if your phone rings and you can't answer it, or if your phone rings and you don't have anyone to answer it, we're going to talk about how AI can solve that problem. Now, I think about all the tradespeople that were coming into season and their phone starts ringing on Saturday. It rings after 5 and they don't have anybody. Well, Rob's going to talk about an easy application that AI can help you with, get you more business, have your business open 24/7, literally, and how that can be applied. So that's going to be awesome. Then Trent is going to talk about the sales application and onboarding. So you don't have to train your people over and over and over again, and what a time suck that is. Tim's going to talk about how to create graphics with DALL-E and Canva. And then I'm going to wrap it up with business strategy, sales strategy, marketing strategy, how you can use AI as a business coach. So it is a power-packed workshop for small business owners, and it's $29. So we are inviting, we're only taking 30, and I think we're about a third full, maybe half full. So please don't wait for this opportunity because we really want to hone in on what we talk about on the podcast every week.
Yeah, yeah, and apply it real world. Go to this workshop. You will walk away. 100% guaranteed. You will walk away, and I don't say that lightly, but 100% guaranteed you'll walk away with some actionable steps for your business. It will help your business if you will sit there, listen to us, and apply it. It will help your business.
You have to bring
Period.
your laptop
Yep.
because it's called a workshop for a reason, and we want you to get on our train, to get on our AI train. And this is a great way to do it in a small working environment where you're free to ask questions and you're afraid to get started on AI, or you're stuck in a certain aspect of AI, or you're in growth mode for your business and you can't afford to hire somebody, how AI can help you with that, all the things. So go to youraiwizards.com, look at upcoming events. You don't have to pay anything today. I'm going to bill everybody on April 15th. Around that date, it's $29, but we really want to share our enthusiasm
That's what we
for
do.
what we do.
Awesome. Yes.
All right.
Cool. Well, see you next week.
All right. Sounds
Thank you.
good. Thank
Talk to you
you.
soon.